Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, September 25th, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. There's a possibility that the modeling firm AIR Worldwide believes that Hurricane Maria insured losses for Puerto Rico alone could exceed $15 billion. The modeling firm has yet to publish an official loss estimate for Maria. They're going to supposedly release that early next week, but AIR President Bill Cherney is reportedly said to have told Bank of America clients that an earlier deadly Cat 5 storm that struck Puerto Rico in 1928 would represent $15 billion of insured losses in today's terms. Cherney is then understood to have told his audience that Maria could produce a level of insured losses in Puerto Rico that exceeds the $15 billion impact of the 1928 storm when he was posed a question during the call. AIR said that total insured values on all of Puerto Rico are $275 billion. That's a relatively high insurance penetration. Around half of Puerto Rican homes are insured against wind damage, while about 90% of commercial structures, including condominiums, are also covered against wind damage. The devastation wrought by Maria continues to cripple the island of Puerto Rico, with fears that the damaged dam in the northern west part of the island may break. The Guatataca Dam is, quote, releasing water after suffering infrastructure damage, said the Puerto Rican government. 70,000 people in the area of the dam were told to evacuate late Friday. Since more than 95% of wireless cell sites are down across the island, authorities had to physically go door to door to thousands of residents warning them to get out. With power and communications in much of the island down, millions of people, including city leaders and first responders, have been cut off from the world since Maria hit last Wednesday. The authorities on the U.S. mainland have begun, as we mentioned last week, to establish an air bridge and a sea bridge, bringing in food, clean water, and generators to the island. Maria itself now is beginning to meander up the east coast of the United States, although it's far out to sea. It's going to pass well east of the southeast coast during the next day or two, but there is a tropical storm watch in effect for the coastal areas of North Carolina up to the Virginia border. Meanwhile, everybody forgets about Hurricane Irma, but the dollar amount of insurance claims filed and calculated for Irma has jumped 57% in just a few days, now passing $3 billion in insured claims. This is according to the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation. According to estimates from the insurance industry, the total industry loss estimate for Irma have narrowed toward a figure of around $25 to $30 billion for the U.S., with another $10 to $20 billion from the Caribbean. The majority of the U.S. industry losses from Irma will be in Florida, given the storm's strongest winds and highest surge impacted Florida directly. There's apparently also a lack of insurance adjusters in the Florida area, as well as steep increases in adjuster day rates, which will ultimately increase the loss estimates. Interestingly, the Florida insurance regulator said many insurers had claimed trade secret protection of their Irma claims data, but after a request, the data has now been made available on a county-by-county level. China's Communist Party has reportedly expelled the country's top former insurance regulator, Bao, from its ranks, and now plans to hand him over to prosecutors. The Central Commission for Discipline Inspection said on its website on Saturday that Zhang, the former chairman of the China Insurance Regulatory Commission, had committed serious violations of political discipline and rules in order to serve personal political interests. He's going to be handed over to legal authorities, and that's never a good thing in China. The Red Cross says that more than 42,000 people have been evacuated from their homes near an active volcano in Bali. This is in Indonesia. The area around Mount Agong has seen hundreds of tremors and signs of magma rising to the surface in recent days, so a 7.5-mile exclusion zone around the mountain has been established, and authorities have moved 42,000 people out of the way. In Germany yesterday, Chancellor Angela Merkel was reelected for a fourth term, but her conservative bloc, although it did win some 33% of the seats in the 709-seat Bundestag, received its worst result in almost 70 years. Merkel will be the chancellor, but she has to work out a coalition. The right-wing nationalist AfD party ended up with about 12.5% of the vote. The AfD party is anti-foreigners, claiming that the nearly 1 million refugees that were brought into Germany are taking away a piece of this country. A quick-thinking French tourist is being praised for preventing a tour bus, one of those big European tour buses, from plunging over a cliff in the Austrian Alps after the 76-year-old driver passed out. 21 passengers were on board when the driver collapsed. The tourist was a passenger, a 65-year-old Frenchman, sitting close to the driver. He immediately leaped from his seat as the vehicle crashed along the wooden roadside guardrail and applied the brake, leaving the bus full of passengers hanging over the cliff edge a short distance from a 330-foot drop. We were hairbreadths from catastrophes, said a local police spokesman. It was incredible luck that the 65-year-old passenger had the reflexes that he had and managed to stop the bus in time. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.